Hey guys, welcome to our first duel review here on GamerCade. So we're actually doing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. This is kind of a disappointing title, I should say. We are, I don't know, playing it for how many hours now? I would say a good 15 maybe, especially me creating parks and whatnot. How about yourself, Garth? How many hours do you think you got into?
Probably about like 10, something like that.
10? Okay.
Yeah, because I know you played a little bit more than I did.
Yeah, mainly like messing with the parks and stuff and little cool things like that. First things first, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, yeah, they say they're going back, quote unquote, to the original gameplay style, back to the tradition of Tony Hawk, known as the Pro Skater series. So, just to start right off the bat, I'm not going to beat around the bush. This game should not be called Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. What do you think? Do you think that this game is even worthy of having the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5?
It shouldn't be called that. Yeah, I agree.
No, it definitely should. Yeah. I wish they would have called it something else because we'll get into more detail. The way this game plays out, it kind of makes me angry that it even has Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 on it. It's like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 was so good.
It kind of gives it an insult, like a stigma to the series now, where it's just like a younger generation is going to look at this game, they'll be like, wow, this is it? But like now I don't even care about the other games, the older games,
Exactly.
The better games.
Yeah, exactly. And now the thing is this game is going to sell. And here's how I know. Looking at the park creator stuff, there's actually statistics on how many plays a park had gotten, and the top park had almost 600-something thousand. So that's over halfway to 1 million already, and that goes by each individual player. So I'm sure this game will sell maybe 1 million, 2 million copies, maybe even more, because every Tony Hawk game sells. Well, besides Shred and Ride, I think the public just knew exactly what that game was. But this is Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So that being said, let's kick off what the game has from the get-go. The game has the basic setup of the physics of the originals. It plays like the originals. It's a little funky. It's not exactly the same.
Yeah, like the physics are weird at times, and sometimes you'll fall when you shouldn't fall. You know what I mean? Like it's got that like, that BS to it. You're just like, oh, what the hell,
But the one thing is like the physics and everything that does make it fun. I have a lot of fun playing it and doing combos and stuff like that. Let's go into detail real quick about within the gameplay. They have these things called power-ups now around the map. Do you think they're helpful, and do you like them?
Yeah, I personally don't mind them at all. I think that's kind of a positive. The other games didn't have it. I don't think that's an issue. That doesn't bother me all that much.
Yeah, right. Same here. I like it a lot. They have the double jump with it, just like the wings are on the board. It's glowing, and then they have where it's on fire. It makes you speed up. The same as snow and ice. It kind of makes you speed up as well. There's a couple other power-ups too, like there's one that makes you grow kind of bigger, which I don't quite understand that one. It does help you reach certain objects, but it's kind of pointless at the same time. So, I mean, and then other things they have laying around the map that aren't like your main objectives. They have combo now. They have skate. I mean, combo, some of the other ones had that too. And then they have skate, which is the usual collector's thing around the map. What else? They have the VHS. And they also have the DVD, which collecting all that stuff will unlock these cards that unlocks hidden unlockable things. And there goes my Voxer, which I should have had that muted.
Yeah.
And anyways, so you can go around and collect these things around the map. And pretty much the reason for collecting those is to get the hidden items unlocked. You get these little cards. It's kind of like a token. You go and you use it on certain things, or it unlocks certain items. What else really? All that stuff around the map is not timed, but when you do go into your main mission, that's when it times you. You want to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about the missions?
Yeah,
so
and
we can
then
tell
when you
everybody?
go into the missions, it takes you to like 3 or 4, like 2 or 3 different menus to get to the okay, and then you finally get to play.
And you want to
You
rip
know,
your
it's
hair
just
out sometimes.
yeah, like it's just like even when I restart the game, it asks me again, "Do you want to play?" Like, no, it's just like get to the just like it should just be seamlessly smooth and play
Right.
through and let me play it, not just like you know, okay, boom,
Yeah. So
okay, and then
use your
you know, it's
touchpad.
just
Yeah.
like it's
Use your touchpad. You go to the there's modes and there's also missions. You go to missions. Some are single player, some are co-op, like with a friend or as many people that are your friends playing with you at one time, up to 20. So I don't know if that's actually limited because I'm not even close to being able to test that out if all 20 can play, and which would help a lot in certain missions. It seems like some missions need that because some missions are close to being impossible at times, which is kind of ridiculous.
yeah.
I mean, I'm good, but not that good. So you go into missions, and you can choose co-op or you can choose single player. That's pretty cool. To be honest, I've had more fun playing co-op than I have had single player.
Yeah, the co-op, yeah, the co-op is fun, you know.
Yeah, it's very cool. So,
And
but the
it's a
thing is,
unique
let's
thing.
talk about the repetitiveness of these missions across all maps, because we're not unlocking the other missions because you have to get all the
Yeah.
stars, which is, it seems like a chore. It's not fun.
Oh yeah, just like that one with that we were doing with the whole what was it for the
You got to go and collect these collectibles around the map. Yeah, these
lunch
lunch
boxes
boxes and deliver them to a certain area. So,
but the area is so weird, it's so stupid.
yeah. It's like,
And
okay,
it's
it's a
just-
construction site. I get it. There's construction workers. They're hungry, whatever. It's
But it's
like,
so hard
I don't know
to
if it's
get
making
to.
that. It's so
and
stupid.
it's just it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It should not be there
Okay.
like that. It wasn't
So-
really well thought.
No, it wasn't, because we just
Doesn't
had the
work
most
on it.
frustrating time on that mission.
Yeah.
This mission. So these, at first you're at the barracks. It's kind of like the training grounds of the game. You're like, okay, these missions are all right. They're kind of cool. But then you're like, I'll try some different missions the next map. Well, you do get a few different ones, but then you do the same ones. Like, let me go through these rings. How fast can I go through these rings? How fast can I collect these items and bring them back to the spot? How far can I manual? Tony Hawk is shouting out these, not literally shouting out, but in the top of the corner, he's saying, do these tricks. You got to copy him. That's kind of cool. I like that stuff. And the grind distance and the manual distance, I like that. But to get the actual missions for the level, you have to completely get 3 stars on each mission. And let me tell you something. Some of these missions are ridiculous. They're pointless, and they're repetitive. So if you don't feel like working to get to the actual objectives, you're not going to like it at all. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, so really quick, just to let you guys know, I did spend $60 on this game, but I am a hardcore fan, like any other Tony Hawk fan. I think that has probably bought the game already, and or they plan on getting it soon. But if you're just like a gamer, like, oh, this is another game I can look forward to, that's coming out this fall, honestly, just wait for the price to drop or rent it through GameFly. Your best bet. Don't spend $60. That's why I spent $60 for this, so I can bring the review to you guys, the listener. So, really quick, before we go any farther, the level design. What do you think about the level design?
Okay, here's the thing about the level design. The level design is cool. It's awesome, to see. But after some of the levels in this game, after 5 minutes, I'm already bored of them. Like the barracks, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of shit now. Like it was very boring after 5 minutes.
There's not very much you can do. So.
Like they're not big levels like Tony Hawk's.
Pro
Like
Skater 4
like
had
the
big one.
Pro Skater 4, Underground 2, those levels had big levels. These levels are really small and tiny, and the fact that you can go into create a park and create literally the same exact park, but just put the ramps in different area,
Right.
it's kind of lame, like.
It is, and
So
also
it wasn't
you
really
can choose
thought.
for creative
Yeah.
park. You can choose small, medium, or large. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's just giving you your space. So it's not like you're
Yeah.
getting any kind of variety. So the level design, like you said, the levels are really cool, but with certain missions during those level design, it can get frustrating. Also, I was going to say something else about the levels, but I can't quite remember. Oh, the Tony Hawk 4, like you were saying, the levels are a lot bigger. These levels feel like Tony Hawk 3, Tony Hawk 2, and Tony Hawk 1, like a mixture of those. It doesn't quite seem like Tony Hawk 4 or beyond that.
I don't know. I still think Tony Hawk 2's, some of Tony Hawk 2's and 3's levels were still a bit bigger.
Yeah, like, but there's some that are kind of like a mixture. Like, I think it's a mixture of like 1 through 3 at least. Definitely not 4. It doesn't touch 4 as a game at all. So
no, absolutely not.
I honestly, what?
Yeah, I feel like there could have been like pedestrians walking around accepting the mission and stuff, because there's no one there.
Right.
Like you're basically just like, why exactly are you doing these missions and stuff? Because there's nobody in the park telling you to go do this, go do that. It doesn't really make any sense. There's really no direct story at all, or like any meaning to this game at all.
So if you're, let's say you join a level, what I'm going to explain to you guys is that this game is weird. It treats itself like an MMO kind of. Like, it automatically puts you online in a lobby. And I've been in a lobby with like 16 plus people sometimes, and then I've been in a lobby with like 2 to 3 people. It's not really frustrating at all. It's actually kind of cool, and seeing like everybody skating, it feels like a really cool atmosphere. I really do like that. But when you try to start up a game mode or a co-op mission, nobody gets notified at all. Only the person that's in your party. So it's not like
it's kind of just
the skate games.
So you're kind of just pointless for the people being in there.
It's weird because it tells you it's searching for people, but it's not doing that at all. It's not doing that. It's just kind of like getting your hopes up. You start the mission, and it's just you, and you're like, oh, okay, well, this is pointless. But if you have a friend like myself, then you're good. You're good. Like, don't worry about it. You'll have co-op fun and everything. That's a plus about the game. So
yeah. Now a lot
Any
of people
last little things you want to say before?
Now a lot of people are talking about, it's Tony Hawk Glitch Skater 4 or Tony Hawk Pro Glitcher. Look, I mean, yes, there are glitches, but I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. I've came across several glitches, but mainly in the creative park mode. And then sometimes I'll be skating, I'll go to grind, and I'll just fly off my board for just no apparent reason whatsoever.
The physics are a little off right there sometimes.
Yeah, so like that is glitchy there, but I mean, I don't know, like
the internet is making it seem like this game it doesn't work. But it does work. It's fun, and it can get frustrating, but it is fun. That's at the end of the day, all you guys need to know that it can be fun, and that's all that you need to worry about when playing a video game is having fun. So, but don't listen to what the internet is saying about the game being super glitchy. Actually, the skate games are way more glitchier than this. Like, skate, your arms are all flopping behind you. Yeah, your arms are flopping behind you trying to walk up stairs on a railway. I've had my body go flying across the map. I've had my body get mangled. You name it. Like, skate is way more glitchier, but it's funny. I think glitches personally are funny. One more thing about glitches, there is a huge exploit in the creative park, and there's not much to choose from. 4 levels to create?
Yeah, there's not very much variety when it comes to creative
not at all.
Park.
But
like, there's
you can get out of these maps and create objects outside of the map, which is really cool. So you might want to do that if you plan on getting the game before they patch it, because you'll have your own little stuff to play with. So that's actually kind of cool, and that's something I like about the game that's not supposed to be there, but it's there, so it's cool.
One thing I wanted to say that really pissed me off, and they took a huge step back, and it's probably one of my biggest gripes about this entire game, is that the creative skater is non-existent at all. Like,
that's something we need to cover.
They say it's there, but it's not there. Like, you when you want to create a female, or if you want to put different clothes on, you're basically putting a different person's body on Chris Cole or Tony Hawk. Or you could even put a girl's head on Officer Dick's body. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. It really looks disturbing, and it's very irritating, because all the other games, Tony Hawk games, you can create a skater and build up your stats. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, if you want them to look like you or not, you want them to look as silly as possible. You really, you can, but not to your personality wise. So what it is like, I chose Chris Cole, and I can swap his head, I can swap his body and stuff like that. But It's cool because you're this game has a lot of unlocks, which is a huge plus. It makes you want to put a lot of hours in it and try to unlock everything and all these characters, which is nice. But besides that, it's kind of blank and pointless. Like you said, there's not really creative. They lied to us because they're
Honestly,
like, be yourself in the trailers. And
Yeah, I
you
know.
can't be
Yeah.
yourself.
Honestly, though, too, I still think that when it comes to customizing your skater, I still think the older games still have more because a lot of the
Easily,
ones are
yeah.
more like silly stuff, like there's a fly head and all that stuff. But this one, like you could put the older games, you could put sunglasses and backpacks and all that stuff on
Yeah,
you. There's
watches, all, like
this
bling, all kinds of cool stuff.
this has none of that
No.
whatsoever, and it's really like there's really not much to choose from in comparison to the older games.
Yeah. So there you have it. Is Tony Hawk 5 does not stand up, not only to its expectations, but it doesn't stand up to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series.
But however, I will say with some updates, this could possibly be a much better game.
Much better game.
Yeah.
All right, let's do our pros and cons and get this wrapped up. I'll let you start if you want. If you want to do your pros for the game, and then I'll do mine.
Do you want to do the positives? Go ahead and do the positives.
The positives.
I'll do the negatives.
I will say the gameplay, and I really another thing we didn't talk about at first was the specials are different now. You can't just choose your specials or even create your specials like some of the other games have. You can combine moves together. What you can do is you hit your L1 button after you gain it, so you can trigger it anytime you want. That's right for you, which is convenient, which is a positive. But when you do this, you just got to push different buttons to get different moves. So you really kind of have to get used to that. You really just can't pick whatever trick is to your advantage that's going to get you the best score or is the best move in the right situation. So you just kind of have to guess. So it's positive and negative about that. The gameplay, I love. It's smooth, fluent, and at times it can have little hiccups, but that's probably the best part about the game is the gameplay. The level design is great. At times a little frustrating, but more positive than negative. And the unlocks for the game keep you playing for hours on end. And the last positive thing is the co-op play. Playing majority of the missions co-op adds more fun to the game and replayability. So that's my pros.
All right, and my negatives, well, like we said, the lack of the creative skater, it's not really there. The connection, the server sometimes with the whole, invite, and you got to push so many buttons to get just to play with, into the game.
And we didn't figure that out until later because I was joining you through the menu because it was so confusing.
Yeah, so. And then, sometimes the controls as well can get in the way, like the smash button, kind of, the slam button, it's cool, but like it's kind of okay, but it's also, I don't really, it would like, if this wasn't in the game, it wouldn't be like, oh man, I need a smash button.
Right.
But,
if it was a different button and it can be reworked and then it can make itself better. That's for sure. But right now,
it definitely needs to be a different. It definitely needs to be a different button. And I do think that the maps could get, at least some of the maps could get tiresome after a while, like after 30 minutes to an hour, like the barracks and stuff. That map is it gets stale after a while.
Easily
the creative part could be a lot better. And the physics sometimes too get in the way of all that. And by the way, you haven't said the positive about the soundtrack. Soundtrack is also pretty good.
Well, when you get tied up in these things about this game that are being very frustrating with your expectations, you're like, this got to be the greatest thing ever because it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, but it's not. The soundtrack is easily forgettable, but then again, it isn't. Like, honestly, it is a great soundtrack. That's one of probably the best things about the game, is the soundtrack.
And one last thing I'll say in the negative department. There's not a whole lot of content when you're going to watch someone's, like, if you want to unlock someone's, like, say in the older Tony Hawk games, if you wanted to unlock their video and watch their skating video, it's only about 30 seconds long, and it's already unlocked when you play the game.
And sadly, no bail videos.
And there's no, there's no bail videos, there's no outtakes, there's no any of that whatsoever. There's no any of the skaters talking. There's no voice acting. There's no voiceovers in this game. So that was kind of, a
Right.
little bit of a letdown too. But at the same time, who should we really blame? Should we blame Robomoto for this, or should we blame Activision for this, or both?
Really quick before we get on our score, just to let you guys know, I think Robomoto is in a bad place because apparently the rumor is that Tony Hawk is on its way out from Activision. In December, the contract runs out for Tony Hawk to be licensed to Activision. So the rumor has it that the game, it was rushed to get it out by the end of this year so they can make
Yes,
money off
it was
of it
rushed.
once again.
Absolutely.
So Robomoto only had 1 year to work with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, and what they did do with in 1 year, I gotta say, it wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't good. But
Yeah,
you can tell they were working hours on end and working their asses off to try to make it work. So I honestly blame Activision, just like you can blame Activision for taking the entire story out of Destiny. So and rushing that game as well.
Yeah,
and you
basically making it a two-part game,
Yeah. Activision's all about money, and that's all they care about. So sadly, that's what they turned into.
And all their developers aren't the greatest, really.
No,
too.
definitely not. So let's get our scores in here for this review and wrap this thing up.
Overall, I give it a 4. Overall, at least for right now, because like we said, this game could get better as we go on, as the updates. But overall, I give it a 4.5 out of 10.
All right, and I will go and give mine. I give it a 6.5 out of 10 because of the co-op and the fun gameplay and the soundtrack. Pretty much, like, it's mainly nostalgia reasons is why I'm still enjoying the game.
I mean, it definitely has the look, obviously, too. Graphically, it has the nostalgia look. Which is what they were going for. But it definitely has the feel, but just has a couple hiccups.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. So, I mean, honestly, don't buy the game at $60. That's crazy for them to even retail it. It doesn't need Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 on it. It needs an alternate title, and it needs to be somewhere around $30 to $40 is a good price range for this game. And considering that the content is going to be free coming up, but that is not even announced yet. So who knows? That could be a year from now.
And we don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, we don't know what. So really, that's it. This is our first dual commentary and review for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 here on the GamerCade channel.
And
if you want to hear more, make sure you guys
and more reviews to come.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have Mad Max hopefully coming up here soon. We wanted to get a lot of that game in before we actually made our review and our opinions on the game.
Yes.
If you guys want to follow us on Twitter, we're at GamerCade1986, and we also have a Facebook page. You go to facebook.com/groups/GamerCade and become a member over there, and we'll preview as soon as possible. Like I said, you go over there and join us. The conversation doesn't have to end here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button, comment below. We much appreciate it. Until next time, guys, game on.